What's up, guys? Welcome in for a pre-Friday celebration. Can you believe it's Thursday already? Can you believe that? I don't believe it. I call shenanigans and malarkey. That's what I say. There it is. All right, guys, welcome into the show. We're trying to get everything up and going here, so hang tight. By the way, I get great response for our music, so thank you. Yes. Oh, yeah. Got a couple minutes here before the radio broadcast starts. Coming up on the show today, we have my very own congressman from the Kansas area here, Congressman Ron Estes. As we get closer to Election Day, getting thoughts on boots on the ground, so happy about that.
2 minutes till broadcast.
We have news from AOC. We have the Department of Justice saying some shenanigans, so there's a lot to talk about today. We're going to cram as much of it as we can into the show today and welcome in. Hopefully you are having a fantastic day, ready to rock and roll for another one. Friday, right around the corner, man. Yeah, can you believe it? I know. All right, so we have streaming on multiple different platforms. I think I should give an update on kind of where we're at because we've kind of changed things a little bit, and we're on more places, which is really cool. It's good news. So I took a vitamin B complex today, and I was great, and it felt amazing. And now I hit a wall, and I'm exhausted.
1 minute till broadcast.
I kind of hit a crash. There we are. What's up, guys? All right, we are live on Opslands. Happy pre-Friday. Opslands family on Facebook. Haven't seen you guys in a bit. They've been working on some stuff. If you've noticed we haven't been on there for a while, it's because they've been working on some technical things. So our Facebook feed was kind of sketching out and glitching for a while.
30 seconds till broadcast.
So we wanted to make sure. I think they got it fixed. Did they? Oh, man. That's awesome. Yeah. Welcome in, guys. If you are on the Facebook feeds, wherever you may be, Facebook, on Getter, on Twitch, on YouTube, on the Tweety, wherever you're watching, welcome aboard. Like it out, share it out, break the algorithm, leave a comment, say hi, call me a jerk. I don't really care. Got a lot to get to today. Let's have some fun. Let's make this thing happen, baby. Come on.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Begin transmission.
Degrees.
Fighting for freedom every day.
You as the individual, you have the power. You don't have to join a union. You go in as an entry-level position. You get the experience that you need. And then as you work up, you get better at your job, which means they pay you more. If they don't pay you more, then you go to another company to show what you've learned and what your value is to where you can get more. If they really don't like that, then you can go and start your own damn business because we have a free market, laissez-faire, capitalist society, allegedly, to where you can actually go off and do your own thing.
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Can you believe it's already a Thursday, the pre-Friday celebration? Welcome into the show. We have so much to talk about today. We are cramming more and more into this program than I think we've ever done before. So welcome in. It's a Thursday. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good now. I came down off a major high today. I took a vitamin B complex this morning. I don't think I've ever taken one of those before. My wife, she took some, she was feeling good. She's like, Andy, you need to try this. I tried it. I was jittery this morning, man. I was going crazy. Now I feel like I'm coming down off like drinking a Red Bull. I'm coming to a crash. I still feel good, but not as jittery as what I was earlier today. Welcome into the show. It's the Voice of Reason. My name's Andy Hooser, broadcasting live out of the heart of the nation here in Wichita, Kansas on our flagship radio station. We are all over the country, radio, TV, live streaming, and podcasting. However you watch or listen to the show, we appreciate you very, very much. We love you to death. Your Millennial General reporting for duty. Big show lined up for you today. Bottom of the hour, we have my congressman here in the 4th District of the state of Kansas, Congressman Ron Estes. We've had him on the show before. We'll play that interview. We sat down with him just a day or so ago. as we get closer to election season, and we'll get the latest from boots on the ground, not only just here in Kansas, because I know we have a lot of listeners that are outside of Kansas with some of our affiliate radio stations and with listeners on the podcast and our live streams everywhere, but I do want to talk about briefly some politics in Kansas. Do you realize how much money, and imagine this, you would think flyover nation, little state of Kansas, we would be a deep red state, they wouldn't pay any attention to us. Oh no, millions upon millions of dollars being sunk into the races here in Kansas for our governor's race, trying to hold a Democrat governorship, which she's a disaster, so we'll see, luckily, hopefully see her go here soon, along with a congressional seat in eastern Kansas. So we'll talk about that briefly with him, along with some of the issues going out from the Biden administration and Washington, D.C. So we'll get to all that and more coming up at the bottom of the hour. And a heck of a lot. Well, we have AOC. Oh, yeah. Town Hall from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Round number 2 of town halls. It didn't really fare in her favor. Wow. AOC has got to go. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did someone bring a drum into a town hall meeting for a congresswoman? I mean, I guess that's dedication. That's devotion right there, baby. That's well done. Well done. We'll talk about that a little bit later on, how the Democrats are imploding from their identity politics and their radicalness that's starting to eat their own, because she was the epitome of the radical left-wing fringe, and now they have turned on her. So we'll get to that. I want to shift gears briefly, though, over the pond. Let's take a break from just the politics here in the United States, take a break from the elections here in the U.S. for just a second. It's important, but I think it reflects where we aren't right now in our U.S. politics and where we maybe should be in our politics. Now, I am the first to admit that I don't know much about politics in the UK. I know that I am a fan of Nigel Farage. I know that I am a fan of Boris Johnson, although he's a little crazy, but some of those guys are. Why the hell not? What's wrong with them? There is, if you've been following this story or not, coming out of the UK and our latest in What's Trending.
What's trending today?
The head of the Conservative Party right now, and the Prime Minister who just announced that she is stepping down, Liz Truss. Is it Truss? Truss? I'm saying it's Truss, is what I'm going for, has made the announcement today that she is officially stepping down as Prime Minister of the UK.
I came into office at a time of great economic and international instability. Families and businesses were worried about how to pay their bills. Putin's illegal war in Ukraine threatens the security of our whole continent, and our country has been held back for too long by low economic growth. I was elected by the Conservative Party with a mandate to change this. We delivered on energy bills and on cutting national insurance. And we set out a vision for a low-tax, high-growth economy that would take advantage of the freedoms of Brexit. I recognise, though, given the situation, I cannot deliver the mandate on which I was elected by the Conservative Party.
All right, hold on. I want to stop right there for a second. Imagine, if you will, and imagine in a world, this is Dreamland with Andy Hooser. I mean, we'd... Namaste. Let's take a deep breath and meditate for a second. Imagine, if you will, in this fantasy dreamland, you have a politician that is representing a certain side, whether it's right side, left side, independent, doesn't really matter. Imagine, if you will, that you have a politician that gets elected saying that they are going to fulfill an agenda. They're going to do something. I am going to lower taxes. I am going to deregulate. Or on the other side, maybe it's I'm going to increase taxes. I'm going to whatever. They run on that campaign. They get elected on that campaign. They don't fulfill that agenda to the desire of those within the party. So the party begins to say, you know what? We don't want you in there anymore. You need to go. According to CNBC, this is a couple of days old here, as many within the Conservative Party of the United Kingdom advocated for Prime Minister Liz Truss to resign from her position of Prime Minister and from the Conservative Party only 6 weeks into her taking on the role, because she hasn't done and fulfilled what she promised to do. 6 weeks. She didn't do it. She said she wanted to. She advocated for it. She didn't do it. And she's officially announced her resignation. She said she'll stay in power until they nominate somebody else, which now they're talking about Boris Johnson coming back up or somebody else. That'll be interesting to see. But imagine, if you will, a politician that says she's going to run on an issue. She runs on the issue and gets elected. In 6 weeks, she doesn't do the agenda. She doesn't get it done. The party says, you know what? We don't like what you're doing. We're going to make you step aside. And she announces her resignation because, you know what? I take responsibility for not doing what I promised I was going to do. And therefore, I'm going to step aside to let somebody else do it. And as nice as that sounds, I have a hard time grasping that concept. Am I missing something? Again, I'm not an expert on UK politics here. Am I missing something that would make a politician step down for not doing what they said they were going to do? Because this is mind-blowing, baby. According to CNBC, the former finance minister, along with Truss, announced the fiscal package, a so-called mini budget for the UK back on September 23rd, where the measure triggered market turmoil, a plunging pound to pension panics, and a rare public rebuke, where the plan was taken apart piece by piece, where they were talking about reversing plans to scrap an increase in the corporate tax, axing the plans to abolish the top income tax bracket, and shortening their energy guarantee designed to subsidize consumer and business energy bills from 2 years to just 6 months. So from what it sounds like, again, scrapping an increase of corporate tax rates, keeping taxes low, abolishing the top income tax bracket for the UK. All these things sound wonderful and great, and conservatives, I think, would be on board with that, but maybe it just wasn't worded or strategized in the proper way. She attempted her plan. The plan didn't work. And now she's stepping down.
I came into office at a time of great economic and international instability. Families and businesses were worried about how to pay their bills. Putin's illegal war in Ukraine threatens the security of our whole continent. And our country has been held back for too long by low economic growth.
I gotta admit, I respect the hell out of her. I don't know anything about her. I respect the hell out of her for stepping down, for not getting the plan done of what she needed. She tried it, swing and a miss, baby, but at least you took a swing. It's kind of like the ball field, right? You teach the kids, don't just stand there and watch the ball go by. Swing the baseball bat. They swing the baseball bat. They didn't hit it. They get upset. Don't worry. You tried it. Good for you. At least you attempted it. You tried it. The parties come out and said that it's a devastating day for her to step down, as she is the shortest prime minister to ever take the role, as now they're looking for a replacement for her, and they're looking at different contenders on this seat now in the Conservative Party, obviously having the majority in the UK Parliament right now, and Boris Johnson may potentially have his comeback after coming out. And I think, again, I don't know very much. I think he did relatively well, but he had some type of scandal, some type of just controversial statements and the things that he did during COVID-19 and so on and so forth. But regardless, he may have his rise back into the limelight. Who knows? But she tried it. Swing and a miss, but at least you tried. And the party is devastated for her leaving, as the media loving this, relishing in it, in her dramatic announcement of leaving just after 6 weeks. Now, while those may not give a you-know-what about UK politics, I really don't either, which is why I was so annoyed by some of the Queen Elizabeth stuff and how long they drug that out. Oh, my God. We get the point. She's dead. Let's find the new king and move on, and why not focus on, do a 20-minute bit on the news, then move on to something else. Instead, it turned into a 20-day fiasco, and it drove me absolutely bonkers, because I don't care about UK politics, but this is an example of a very high-class individual that it was in there not for the political power, that was in it not for a personal agenda, but in it for the role of actually doing something for the public and something for the country. And her plan didn't work, and they didn't like it, and they called her to resign, and she resigned. How many politicians in the United States do you think should be in that situation right now? I could count at least more than my fingers and toes have on me right now, because of they haven't done anything in, 50, 60, 70 years in office. They haven't been productive. They haven't had the plans turn out the way that they wanted to or that they intended to be. It had negative consequences. It destroyed the country. It harmed the country in some way, shape, or form. And we've called for their resignation. And do they do it? Oh, no, because we have a different class of politician here in the United States where they don't care about what you actually think. They're in it for their own personal gain. A vast difference, is there not, between the Conservative Party of the UK and I would say even the Republican Party here in the United States. I would like to call on the resignation of Mitch McConnell for being a spineless rhino middle-of-the-road hack. I know he's got a lot of power in D.C. I know he has his benefits, and he knows the game inside and out because he's been there for so long. He knows how to play the internal game and knows how to play the legalities of how the Senate runs to be able to catch them up on occasion and fight against Democrats. I get that. He's got his benefits, but when it comes to actual policy, he doesn't do a very good job. I would like to call out Barack Obama, even though he's not in office, to never run for office again. I'd like to call out Joe Biden for being in there since how long? 47, 48 years in public office, hasn't done a damn thing, and yet he's out there as leader of the free world trying to shake the hands of Easter bunnies all over the country. It's time for a lot of these individuals to resign because guess what? Your policies failed. Your politics not only failed miserably, they hurt the nation. But here in America, where we don't really have a representative government any longer, we have some great representatives that are fighting the fight, but they can only go so far. We're supposed to have a constitutional republic, or we have that or not now is up for debate. We're supposed to have representatives that represent us, and when they don't represent us and they do something they're not supposed to do, that's when we get them out of office. And we're starting to wake back up again. Liz Cheney's a prime example of that. Now, she didn't step down. In fact, she dug her feet in and tried to stay there as long as possible, but we booted her ass out of office during the primaries just a couple months ago for the state of Wyoming. And kudos to you, the state of Wyoming, for doing that, because guess what? You didn't do what you said you were going to do. You didn't advocate as a Republican agenda like you said you were going to advocate for, so we got your ass out of office. Now, you're still on the January 6th committee for a couple more months, and you're trying to squeeze in that last little bit of limelight that you possibly can. But guess what? It ain't going to last long. So good luck and enjoy it while you can for the last month or so. We have to forcibly do it on our end because we don't have elected officials like this Prime Minister Liz that's openly stepping down saying, my agenda didn't work, let's get somebody else in that knows how to do it. I commend her, and you know what? Politicians in Washington, D.C., maybe you should take note once in a while.
The voice of reason with Andy Hooser.
Andy Hooser here, reminding you not only can you listen to the Voice of Reason on your favorite radio station, but also check out the video of the program on TV and online. We're excited to be working with our partners over at OpsLens to bring the Voice of Reason live every day on their website at opslens.com, on the OpsLens app that you can download on any of your smartphones, or on any of the OpsLens social media. It's a great network that broadcasts multiple shows promoting truth, reason, and common sense, reaching thousands of viewers every day, all day long. Plus, while you're there, you can always watch some of the best highlights of the show during the weekends or read our latest opinion columns on topical issues of the day. Also, if you want to interact with me during the program, just leave a comment on their social media or the OpsLens app stream. You can always join the live chat rooms, or if it's easier, just email me at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com. Again, that's HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com. This is your show, and we want to hear from you. Why? Because it's time for you to be your own voice of reason in your own community. Hey, it's Andy Hooser. Want to reach out to the show? A big part of the program is you, and we want to hear from you. Let us know your thoughts of the show, maybe a guest we've had on the program, or my favorite, when you disagree with something that I talk about. You can email me at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com or send us a message through our website at HooserReason.com. The show's not about me, it's about you. So be heard and be your own voice of reason. Again, email me at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com or find our contact information at HooserReason.com. Hey, it's Andy Hooser. You want some more reason throughout the day? Well, now it's easier than ever to find. Here's what you do. Check out the website at HooserReason.com. There you can find past shows, links to all of our social media, special features, our monthly blogs, and a heck of a lot more. Plus, make sure to check in frequently as we're constantly working to add more goodies that you'll really enjoy. Also, you can always subscribe and follow our social media sites for bonus content, articles that we use on the show, or maybe some additional rants. Yeah, it's all that and so much more. Check it all out at HooserReason.com. Hey, it's Andy Hooser with the Voice of Reason. The show's growing all the time, and as we talk about the big issues of the day, one of the big parts of the program is you. And I want you to join us on the program. Whether you agree, disagree, or just want to relieve some of that political frustration, we're here for you. No matter where you may be watching, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, go ahead and leave a comment on the live stream. Chat with other listeners and let me know your thoughts on the topic. Also chat with us on the Podbean chat room. Just go to our live stream of the show at podbean.com and chat with other listeners. You can also call into the program. Just download the Podbean app onto your smartphone, join the live stream, and call in through the app. This is your show, and we want to hear your thoughts. So go ahead and join us here on the Voice of Reason and the Hooser Media Network.
Hey, miss a show? Don't worry about it. You have plenty of opportunities to watch, listen, learn, and be entertained with the Voice of Reason anytime you want. And here's how you can do it. First, become a Hooserholic by going to HooserReason.com and signing up for the show newsletter to get the latest on the show, upcoming guests, topical discussions, and more. Next, subscribe to the podcast and have the show automatically downloaded to any platform you like to use. You can subscribe through any of your favorite platforms with iTunes and Spotify, Google Play and TuneIn, or you can also go and subscribe directly to our Podbean website. Last, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Just go to youtube.com, search Hooser Reason, and subscribe to watch all of our shows, videos, and get notified whenever we're live. All the links and info are at HooserReason.com. For a schedule of upcoming guests on the program, daily show topics, or to reach out to the Hooser Media Network, visit us on the website at HooserReason.com. Or for general inquiries, to be a guest on the program, or to have Andy a guest on your program, email us at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com. Keep fighting for freedom with us every day right here on the Voice of Reason and the Hooser Media Network. Now, back to the show.
Bring some reason into your day. This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
And back into the program, darn right, 24 minutes past the hour, radio, TV, live streaming, podcasting. By the way, quick note for you on our social media stream. So we have the video all over the place. Our partners, our family, our friends over at OpsLens, we are on their website, opslens.com. We're also on their app, which you can download for free and watch all the shows that they have, including this one, on their app with the chat room. We also are on their social media on Getter and on YouTube and on Tweety and on Facebook. The Facebook feed has not been going for a few days, and it's because we've had kind of some glitchiness and sketchiness going on with the feed. I've been kind of monitoring it, and I think it's good, or at least better than what it was. So, but we're back up on there today as well, which we appreciate. Now, I've also been streaming it to other locations as well on our Hooser Reason, our Voice of Reason Facebook page, and my personal page. So, I mean, I've been censored so many times I don't get a whole lot of views on there, but at least it's an added bonus for those that want to watch it on there if you're friends with me or if you follow the Voice of Reason radio show page. But our big ones, obviously, with OpsLens, as you guys rock it, we get thousands of viewers on there every day, so thank you for that. We appreciate it very much. Also on thenextgenusa.com, another online streaming source that they stream our video feed, and then, of course, all our other pages, my personal pages, on the Voice of Reason YouTube channel and Twitch channel. So we are literally everywhere. And if you haven't seen us on some of the platforms, it's because they've been working on making sure the video feed has been running smoothly and awesomely. And we appreciate that. Plus all the radio stations that are affiliates. We love you guys and appreciate you very, very much. There's more going to be coming on here relatively soon. More information on those a little bit later. All right. As we wrap up this one, we have a politician in the United Kingdom that didn't get the job done that she wanted to, and within 6 weeks of being prime minister has stepped down from being prime minister because, well, she didn't get the agenda done she wanted. Under the Conservative Party, who's advocating for her resignation because her plan didn't work out. So instead of fighting it like most politicians do, oh, we're doing the best we can, oh, we're going to make it better, oh, it actually worked and we're just going to twist the story a little bit, she actually just stepped down and said, yeah, you know what, the mission here is to get the job done. I didn't get it done the way you wanted, so you know what, take somebody else and I'm appreciative to do it. Boom, done, over. Our politicians here I've not heard of a single one that's done that on their own accord. Be like, yeah, you know what, my plan didn't work out, so I'm going to let somebody else with better ideas take over. They have too much of an ego for that here in the United States, in our politicians. In fact, we're starting to boot them out ourselves. And I mentioned Liz Cheney on the January 6th committee because while she's the Republican, she feels like the Republicans are the worst enemies out there, especially Donald Trump. So heading up a January 6th committee to try and demonize her own party is her way of representing the party. That makes no sense to me. So live the high life, enjoy the spotlight for a next month or so before you're out of office because you're done. And you didn't just lose, you lost big time, sister. And that's something to be prideful of. But on the fact of January 6th, not only are they out of touch with the American voter and they will never step down and resign, but they're so egotistical and so narcissistic and so evil at trying to demonize a political opponent in this nation like Donald Trump that now, according to Newsmax, they're not just continuing on with the investigation as they try to subpoena Donald Trump to come in and testify. Oh, no, they're now asking Congress for $34 million to continue the investigations, to continue the committee with their with their January 6th investigations. Hey, we're out of money. I know this is a really, really important election year, and we don't have anything else to run on. We're going to continue to demonize Trump. We're out of cash. We already passed the continuing resolution. We already set our budget at least through December right now, but we're out of money. We need $34 million additionally to continue on this committee to investigate more stuff. Excuse me? According to the DOJ, they are critically, quote unquote, critically in need of that $34 million to continue on their investigations because they're out of cash. Yes, committees cost money. The investigation, the time it does to do the legal research on what they're trying to do the hearings and the testimonies, to rent out the building, to turn on the lights at the end of the day. Yeah, it costs money, and they're asking for $34 million of your taxpayer money to continue on with an investigation that has gotten them absolutely nowhere as they lie through their teeth to demonize the person that you like, and they want to make sure that you'll never like him again. That's the ego that we're up against here compared to the UK. Congressman Ron Estes from the 4th District of Kansas, when we come back here on The Voice of Reason. Stay here.
The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Hey, it's Andy Hooser. You know, when I get off the air every day, the battle for me against limited government, censorship, and even unfactual content is far from over. That's why now I'm so happy to say that the Hooser Media Network is giving you more opportunity to catch the Voice of Reason along with other great shows and podcasts. It's been a long time in the works, and now you can finally enjoy more great content, services, and topical shows. We're the safe space for alternative talk, information, and ideas that the mainstream media absolutely hates. From holistic and alternative medicine, discussions on religion and spirituality, pure entertainment shows, and of course yours truly with the Voice of Reason. Plus, we offer numerous media services, including helping you set up your own podcast, become your own Voice of Reason, and bring your expertise to any fun issue or topic. For information on all of our shows, links to podcasts, each show website or social media link, or to find out about everything we do to challenge the mainstream establishment, visit our website at HooserMedia.com. Again, that's HooserMedia.com, the future of media. Welcome to the Hooser Media Network. It's been a long time coming, and now it's growing bigger and better than we ever imagined. The Hooser Media Network is so much more than just the Voice of Reason. It's a network for you as a listener and you as a podcaster. It's a network for any kind of talk on any kind of topic, bringing podcasters together to give you a new way to think about the world, and it's any type of show from entertainment to educational. Check out all of our great programs, like Dr. Devin Verana with If They Knew.
Yeah, and it gives you tangible tools. I mean, I'm sure she just mentioned that some people might be mad at the government. I just can't imagine.
No.
I think there's a little bit of anger in the world these days, but I was listening to Wayne Dyer this morning, and he said, if you grab an orange and you squeeze it, what comes out? Juice. What kind of juice? Orange juice every time, right? It's not going to be apple juice. It's never going to be mango juice. It's always going to be orange juice. So whatever is in us is going to come out when we're squeezed. And so I'm sure you're learning that, like, taking yourself through this process continually just adds more and more power, more and more depth of compassion and joy and freedom and all those good feeling things, because you're clearing that space out.
Yes, exactly.
I love it. Now take people, so for anybody listening out there that might have an object of anger, whether it's somebody or something or, you know, objects out in the world these days, take us into some tactical, practical things that they can do. Number one, I'm sure, is to come see you, but what are some other things?
So I skipped that one on purpose when I was going through this, but the first book that changed my life, and I listened to it before I signed up for the, I listened to her 1 hour Zoom before I signed up for the class. She was interviewing a man who told us about a book called The Four Agreements. And so then when you get into the class, we study the book called Forgive for Good by Fred Luskin. And we went through a process by Michael Brown called The Presence Process. These are all 3 books. And I hate to be this honest, but let me be this honest. You can read those 3 books and know everything I'm going to teach you. But like any good class, I mean, just because I signed up for a class in college, I buy the books. you really need someone to guide you through them.
That plus tune into Spiritual Smorgasbord with Desiree and Cheyenne.
It is, and we talked about that because then, of course, other things started to happen after that. Of course, that was not my last doctor's visit by no means. However, you know, we talked about it, and I thought, you know, our ancestors were so smart. They know, like, whatever ails us, there's a cure for on this planet. We're just not smart enough to know how to use it, but our ancestors were. We need to get back to that. Modern medicine, basically what that is it is what you get from the plant, the healing benefit, just on steroids with side effects.
Yes.
And so a lot of people, modern medicine is considered sexy. It's fast resolving. It's instant gratification. But, and so like plant-based formula, the raw, natural plant-based formula is what is going to work. It's going to be great. It just takes a while. And people want that instant gratification.
Oh, yes.
So a lot of people try
It's been marketed
something.
to them that way too.
It
They're like,
has.
oh, that's the old way. It's going to take you forever. But if you just take this, you wake up tomorrow and you can have whatever you want.
Exactly.
You can do whatever you want.
But at what cost?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, you know,
My leg is broken, but have some Oxycontin.
Yes.
You know, it's like,
Right.
dude, your leg is still severely broken. You just can't feel anything.
yeah. And it's like, so let's go to nature. Let's see.
Yeah.
You know what? There's pain relievers in nature. Marijuana is a great pain reliever.
Yes.
For one. I mean, you know, just
Mentally and physically.
yes. Well, I mean, you know, but there's other remedies out there. And everything that ails us, there's a cure for on this planet.
This whole room smells like peppermint.
We're all getting cured.
We're all
now.
getting cured right now. It's a beautiful essential oil I bought from a local, I guess you could say apothecary shelf, but I'm getting healed right now.
Yes, exactly. It is. And it's all around us. We just need to know how to look for it. And I'm sorry. But that's kind of what we were discussing. And that kind of was what started this this whole journey. And what I'm very fortunate that, you know, my spouse and I are together on this. It's not just one of us having a spiritual journey. It's
Yeah.
that we're doing this together.
Listen to those shows and so much more on our website where you can find live streaming, links to the podcast, links to social media, more content, and so much more. It's all online at HooserMedia.com.
When Reason Meets Radio. You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Thanks for hanging out with us today. As always, really happy to have this guy in studio with us as we get closer to election season. We're down to the wire with just a week, couple weeks left here from the 4th Congressional District. My congressman, great friend here, Congressman Ron Estes. Congressman, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. Thank you, Andy.
Yeah, it's always good to talk with you. We are down to the wire with the last few weeks. I see a lot of candidates out there knocking doors. I've been helping local candidates around as well. We're trying to get the word out. I'm optimistic about this election. I think we're going to do well here in Kansas.
Yeah, I think so too. I think when you look at the policies that are being put in place from the Democrat Governor Kelly or Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi and admissions, the policies that they're putting in at the federal level, Americans and Kansans in particular see the country's going in the wrong direction, and they're not for that.
Yeah. Just a couple of days ago on the radio show, we had talked about how easy it should be for Republicans to win this election because, I mean, we are in the middle of a Democrat experiment, social experiment, economic experiment, border experiment, military experiment, and it's failed across the board. We should be able to walk across the finish line pretty easy, I would think.
Well, you would think that. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people that they've been sold this bill of goods. They've been marketed that there's this utopia out there that in a socialist society that, you know, everybody gets everything. And it's failed over and over again around the world, whether it was the Soviet Union that was socialist, whether it was Venezuela. I mean, that's probably the most recent example that people can point to. Even you point back to, you know, countries throughout Europe and throughout all aspects of the world. It just doesn't work. And unfortunately, people don't realize what they're giving up in that process. And so there's so many Americans now that are saying, you know, this isn't what our Declaration of Independence was for. This isn't what we believe America has grown and become so strong on because of that. And so actually I saw a little meme the other day that the Biden administration policies are turning America into the country that our founding fathers left.
Exactly. It really is. We are at that point. They left and they started a new nation after a 2.5% sales tax on tea and on gun regulations. And we're seeing massive gun regulations and a 9% inflation rate, which is really a tax rate. So we're beyond that point. It's just how much we can actually deal with. I've heard you talk at a few different benefits and events going into elections the last few weeks, and I mean, you're optimistic. I mean, we're seeing a potential major victory for the House of Representatives, aren't we?
Yeah, I really we are seeing that. I mean, when you look at such good candidates that the Republicans have recruited across the country, and I think we'll pick up 30 seats. I mean, we're 5 down. The Democrats have a 5-seat majority as of right now. I think we'll pick up 30 seats.
Wow.
I mean, there's races. We'll pick up seats in Rhode Island and Maine, and we'll pick up 3 or 4 seats in New York. They tried to gerrymander there and didn't work.
Wow.
Florida, California, even Texas. We'll pick up a lot of seats. And, you touched on inflation there in terms of the impact there. Is that 8.3% inflation is the equivalent of 1 month's paycheck.
Yeah.
So just think about it from a standpoint of who can live without 1 month's paycheck to buy the same rent, or the same mortgage payment, or to buy the same amount of groceries, or to pay your car, to buy your gas. I mean, with one fewer paycheck for each year.
That's insane. Yeah, the latest I had seen $6,000 that we're paying above what we normally do just to maintain our level. Then we have the shortages in the grocery stores right now to where things are out. Then we see the gas prices on top of all of it, and it is a level that I think has a lot of people scared and a lot of people angry. We're seeing voters, Hispanic voters, minority voters all over the nation not even follow politics. Just say, hey, all I know is that things were in the grocery stores and gas was a lower price with the last administration. Now we're not seeing that yet. That's the number one focus for most voters all over the nation.
Yeah, it really is. And it goes directly back to the policies that the Biden administration put in place. And that Governor Kelly's tagged on with them and being very supportive of those through the activities there. And inflation's it's a horrible thing because it affects everybody, but it particularly affects middle and low income, the average American through that process, and just the struggle that you have to deal with that and fight that off, and so that's why we're seeing everybody is in a situation where they're seeing things are going in the wrong direction and want to turn that around.
It is unfortunate. The commitment to America, the plan that Kevin McCarthy, that you guys in the House put out as a Republican plan, I like it. I think it's going to do good. I like the idea that we're going back to a kind of a Newt Gingrich style, what he did back in the day. Are you getting good feedback on it? I think it was. I wish it came out sooner from Kevin McCarthy, but I like the fact that we're focusing on this.
Yeah, it really is. And the things that we talked about and why we wanted to do this is instead of talking about the problems with the Biden administration that the one-party Democrat rule in the country has led to, and all the problems, the shortages of baby food and everything, we wanted to talk about something that's positive. I mean, what are we going to accomplish when we get into office, and what are we going to work towards? And so the Commitment America are built on 4 different principles. I mean, we want to make sure we have a strong economy. We want to make sure that we have a safe America. We want to make sure that we protect the freedoms that we have and build our future around that. Mm-hmm. And we want to make sure that government's held accountable. I mean, the transparency and the aspects that our government should be representative of the citizens, but it also should be accountable to them too.
Yeah, absolutely. I've heard the rumors from the other side that they've already started to say, if we elect Republicans in this election, if we get a majority in the House, if we even get a majority in the Senate, which I am optimistic about as well, that they're already advocating for riots in the streets, that it is the Trump movement, it is the MAGA movement, it is the most radical domestic terrorist organization in American history. They're already planning themselves to have riots in the streets as soon as Republicans take control again.
Yeah, it really is sad to see this. I mean, the Democrats, and I don't know whether how much of it's Democrats, how much of it's special interest, how much of it's attack groups like BLM that are out causing all of this problem, Antifa that's doing that. But they did it in 2016. I mean, the day after President Trump was inaugurated, they had a million person destructive march, burning cars in D.C. and through that process. And as much as the Democrats, and particularly the House led by Speaker Pelosi, have attacked President Trump and all the accusations around January 6th, And then the effort that they went in, that they never said that President Trump was duly elected, that he beat Hillary Clinton.
Sure.
And for them to be talking now about not accepting the results of an election, I mean, that's what our democracy is all about.
Right. It really is. Speaking of, by the way, have you heard any rumors? Will Trump actually show up for the subpoena and actually testify before the January 6th committee?
So I haven't heard any rumors about that, but I would be surprised if that happens.
Yeah, me too. I think it would be a fun circus. It would be a fun show to watch, for sure. It would be entertaining.
Well, and it's an interesting thing, too, is they've got to scramble for the next 2.5 months because Republicans taking over the majority in January. This special committee that Speaker Pelosi created to attack President Trump. And it's kind of the way I was talking with my mother this morning about it, is that, there may be some things that people disagreed with or thought were disappointing about either the way President Trump speaks or some of the things he says or approach to dealing with people. Sure. But what they've tried to do is turn things you disagree with into things that are illegal.
Exactly.
And they've tried over and over again, and they're going to continue to try for the next 2.5 months, but it's going to be over with after January.
Yeah, that is very true. On the Democrat side, on the national level, they're struggling with leadership. They don't have necessarily candidates that can stand out either for this race or for the presidential race coming up in a few years. They don't have the depth in their chart to bring up. I mean, they're talking about, Gavin Newsom out of California. They're talking about Stacey Abrams, which she's already been a failed candidate in Georgia. We'll see how this election goes. They're throwing AOC out there as a potential presidential run in 2024. To me, that shows a bit of a sign of weakness and desperation because they haven't invested in the younger generation for Democrats, have they? I mean, do you see that in D.C.? Are they just trying to hold on to what they have right now?
Well, it's not only that they haven't invested and built around that, but what they've tried to do is create all the victimhoods and target everybody as a party of victims. And so you have these special designations of so many people through that process, and current leadership is ancient in the Democratic Party. I mean, you look at President Biden. I mean, as old as he
tries
is.
to shake hands with the Easter Bunny.
Yeah, and you look at the top 3 Democrats in the House of Representatives, Speaker Pelosi, Steny Hoyer, and James Clyburn. If you add up their ages, they're older than the United States of America. So that just kind of reflects of, they've really passed their prime in terms of recognizing where America is and how do we make sure that we keep a strong America going forward and protect our constitutional freedoms.
Amen to that. We're talking with Congressman Ron Estes from here in the 4th District. Let's talk about Kansas politics for a second here. Your race, I'm feeling very confident. Everything's good here. I'm looking forward to election night for you. Congressman Tracy Mann from the big 1st District. I don't see a major issue out there. I see us retaining that one. Jake LaTurner as well up in the 3rd District. That big Sharice Davids, Amanda Adkins. I know that Amanda Adkins tried to run against her in the last election and it didn't work out. Sharice Davids, I got to admit, she's put her head low and played her cards well in D.C., but how are we looking? Do we have the opportunity to flip that seat red here in the States?
We really have an opportunity to pick up that seat. I mean, it's going to be competitive all the way because it's like you said. Sharice Davids has been in 4 years now, and you can't really point to an accomplishment through that process.
Yeah.
I mean, the strategy that they followed, she and the folks that are backing her have basically said, well, we'll raise money. They'll raise money in New York and California, and then do nice-sounding commercials about her,
exactly.
and not getting out in the district, not working on issues, and so last year or the last election cycle, there was a contested 5-way primary. So coming out of the primary, Amanda Adkins was short on money because it was spent in the primary, so he didn't have that for the general election. This year's a different status, and as well as people are seeing. This is what policies get implemented that Sharice Davids votes for what Biden wants,
right?
And this is what we're seeing with the inflation and with no baby formula on the store shelves and the debacle in Afghanistan.
There it is. That's Congressman Ron Estes from my home district here in the 4th District of the state of Kansas. Interesting perspective as we look across the nation for these congressional seats. Could we pick up those near 30 seats across the nation and dominate the Democrats in that red tsunami, stopping any legislation for the next couple of years? That'll be interesting. We'll talk about more of that when we come back here on The Voice of Reason for a Thursday.
Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Andy Hooser here, reminding you not only can you listen to the Voice of Reason on your favorite radio station, but also check out the video of the program on TV and online. We're excited to be working with our partners over at OpsLens to bring the Voice of Reason live every day on their website at opslens.com, on the OpsLens app that you can download on any of your smartphones, or on any of the OpsLens social media. It's a great network that broadcasts multiple shows promoting truth, reason, and common sense, reaching thousands of viewers every day, all day long. Plus, while you're there, you can always watch some of the best highlights of the show during the weekends or read our latest opinion columns on topical issues of the day. Also, if you want to interact with me during the program, just leave a comment on their social media or the OpsLens app stream. You can always join the live chat rooms, or if it's easier, just email me at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com. Again, that's HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com. This is your show, and we want to hear from you. Why? Because it's time for you to be your own voice of reason in your own community. Hey, it's Andy Hooser. You want some more reason throughout the day? Well, now it's easier than ever to find. Here's what you do. Check out the website at HooserReason.com. There you can find past shows, links to all of our social media, special features, our monthly blogs, and a heck of a lot more. Plus, make sure to check in frequently, as we're constantly working to add more goodies that you'll really enjoy. Also, you can always subscribe and follow our social media sites for bonus content, articles that we use on the show, or maybe some additional rants. Yeah, it's all that and so much more. Check it all out at HooserReason.com. Hey, it's Andy Hooser. Want to reach out to the show? A big part of the program is you, and we want to hear from you. Let us know your thoughts of the show, maybe a guest we've had on the program, or my favorite, when you disagree with something that I talk about. You can email me at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com or send us a message through our website at HooserReason.com. The show's not about me, it's about you. So be heard and be your own voice of reason. Again, email me at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com or find our contact information at HooserReason.com. Hey, it's Andy Hooser. As we continue to grow as a radio and TV program, we're continuously working behind the scenes to try and bring more common sense and reason to more patriotic Americans all over the country. That's why we're super excited to be working with the OpsLens team to bring you the voice of reason every single day. OpsLens is a national online network bringing you incredible content all day from hosts all over the country. And each host brings their own unique experience and expertise to the current events, reaching hundreds of thousands of patriotic Americans daily. Make sure to check out their website at opslens.com. Make sure to download the OpsLens website and follow them on all of these social media sites that you like, so you can watch all their live streaming content, including ours right here with the Voice of Reason. Plus, if you want more of the Voice of Reason, check out our website online at HooserReason.com. There you can listen to the live audio feed of the show every single day. You can read our monthly blog. You can check out our satire infomercials. You can see pictures of what we're doing, upcoming schedule of events, and a heck of a lot more. On the website, you can find our list of radio and TV affiliates in your area. Find our social media links, and while you're there, sign up for our free newsletter. Over the last 2 years, your Voice of Reason newsletter has grown exponentially. It's completely free, and in it we give you your monthly motivation, upcoming civic holidays for the month, a recap from the show from last month, upcoming guests on the program, along with the latest news from our Hooser Media Network. It's pretty simple. All you got to do is go to the website at HooserReason.com and become the next Hooserholic. Finally, follow us on all of our social media sites. With the iron grip control on content from the radical left, unless you follow us, you're not going to be able to see us. It's been an ongoing battle with shadow banning on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, where even our own fans are having a hard time finding our content. But the battle isn't over. We'll continue to bring you the best content we can on as many platforms as possible. You can follow us with the handle at Hooser Reason. No matter what social media site you like to use, you can find us there. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch.tv, Instagram, TikTok, OurFreedomBook.com, Parler, and of course our website at HooserReason.com. Don't miss it while we give you a heads up on some of the events that I may be attending or speaking at, updates of behind-the-scene projects, or just something sarcastic to try and rile up the left. The battle for freedom is real, and we want to be part of that battle, as we want you to be your own voice of reason in your own community. Conservative principles happen at the grassroots level, and that's what we're here to help with. And together, you and I can fight back against this virus that's spreading across the nation that is socialist policy, trying to destroy this country. We can bring us back to some constitutional values, some individual sovereignty, and the right for you to be able to make your own choices when you deem necessary for you, your family, and your community. In a world of fake news and information overload, it's time to bring back some reason, common sense, guidance, and a little bit of wisdom. And that's what we're here to do. This is the Voice of Reason.
fighting for freedom every day. The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Oh, how this show flies right on by. Good golly. We never have enough time. Can I please have a 4-hour program? I'm dying for a 4-hour program. We have so much more to cover and so little time to do it. Trying to cram that 10 pounds of reason into that 5-pound bag. Trying to rebrand the millennial generation one radio listener at a time. Always thanks for hanging out with us today. Multiple radio stations, TV, live streaming, podcasting, however you check us out. We love you and appreciate you very much. By the way, we are getting closer to the end of the month, which means we will be sending out our monthly newsletter. Are you a Hoosier holler? Yeah, Hoosier holler. Hoosier holler. Is that like hog calling? Hey, Hoosier holler. If you're not a Hoosier holic yet, meaning, you're addicted to the program, addicted to the Hoosier Reason that we have on this program, then become one. Go to the website, HooserReason.com, HOOSER Reason.com. Become a Hoosier holic. You won't get spammed all the time. You don't have to charge anything. We don't charge it. It's just a monthly free newsletter that comes in your email with our blog, with our updates on the show, our updates with the Hoosier Media Network, with all the programs that we put on as well, and other stuff that we do. Also, some of the content going into the next month. It's really awesome. Upgrade your life a little bit. And do so by becoming a Hoosier holic. Go to HooserReason.com. Again, HOOSER Reason.com. Sign up for the newsletter when it says become a Hoosier holic. Type in your email, and you're good to go. We got just a couple of minutes left here. Thanks again to Congressman Ron Estes. He's a great personal friend. I am excited to hear in the Kansas area. He's going to be holding his victory party along with the county Republicans and all the local candidates, and I will have the great honor to MC that event. So looking forward to that, and I really, really appreciate those guys reaching out and allowing me to do that. This will be the third time. So that's what, every 2 years. So 6 years now. The third time I get to MC their political rally on election night. So really, really excited about that, and we appreciate that. On the other hand, Democrats, not so. I got to tell you this. This is the local area here in the Wichita area. So this just shows how disarrayed the Democrats are. Yesterday, we made a phone call to the county Democrat Party because I was just curious on how active they were, how excited they were. I have not seen very many Democrat yard signs around the area here in the state. I mean, there may be in other places. I have not seen very many. So I was curious on whether they even have any in stock, how much money they've been promoting or pushing for their Democrat candidates. I called up our local county Democrat Party's election headquarters to ask them if they had a yard sign for the Democrat running for governor here in the state. They said yes, but we've been here all day and we're tired. Can you come here soon, and can you bring us a bag of chips? Yeah, I mean, dude. That was the professionalism of our local Democrat Party. And we're probably seeing this all over the nation. Do it. Do me a favor. If you live outside of Kansas or wherever you live, call your local Democrat headquarters. Just play it off as if you're like, I'm totally excited, totally going to get a yard sign. See how professional they are. Because mine, they're like, dude, can you bring us a bag of chips? Sounds like they got a bit of the munchies for some reason, and I'm not quite sure why on that one. So that just shows the lack of enthusiasm they have to promote their own candidates within their own in districts, and I find that ironic. In New York, AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, our favorite person on this show.
I am told this is a garbage disposal.
She's having some problems with her own district, with her local town hall meetings, trying to stay relatable to her constituents. So if you can't understand them because it was a little loud, AOC's got to go. And someone brought a drum, which is very impressive for a town hall meeting talking about congressional issues in Washington, D.C. So, I mean, they were there for a purpose. And by golly, the left-wing progressives have turned out they are beginning to eat their own, which was only a matter of time when you have radicals on the other side that are so woke that they find classifications and putting people in boxes with identities in some way to such a degree that they begin to eat their own and divide themselves. But now the person that was supposed to represent the woke has now been turned on by the woke. And while she danced it to the protesters and drums in front, she said this.
Respectfully, ma'am, you're saying ask us why. Y'all been talking for 20 minutes, okay? We know why. We know why you're mad. Let's talk about it.
Oh, my. Don't know what she was yelling. Couldn't handle her own town hall. AOC, while you may be like number 12 on the Democrat list for a presidential run in 2024, good luck with that. You can't handle your own district and your own woke mobsters that are only out there to get Trump supporters. They're coming after you. They're going to get you. And now they've turned on you because you are apparently part of the establishment. So well done and congratulations, AOC. You're going to be out in the next election. That does it for us today. Podcast up in a bit. Back at it tomorrow for a Friday right here on The Voice of Reason. We'll see you on the radio. Hey, it's Andy Hooser. You know, when I get off the air every day, the battle for me against limited government, censorship, and even unfactual content is far from over. That's why now I'm so happy to say that the Hooser Media Network is giving you more opportunity to catch the Voice of Reason along with other great shows and podcasts. It's been a long time in the works, and now you can finally enjoy more great content, services, and topical shows. We're the safe space for alternative talk, information, and ideas that the mainstream media absolutely hates. From holistic and alternative medicine, discussions on religion and spirituality, pure entertainment shows, and of course yours truly with the Voice of Reason. Plus, we offer numerous media services, including helping you set up your own podcast. Become your own Voice of Reason and bring your expertise to any fun issue or topic. For information on all of our shows, links to podcasts, each show website or social media link, or to find out about everything we do to challenge the mainstream establishment, visit our website at HooserMedia.com. Again, that's HooserMedia.com, the future of media.